Hyperbole. Hyperbole? Hyperbole? Hyperbole. Hyperbole. It helps if you just go hyperbole, 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 and it's ingrained in your brain. Because when I first came across this word, I would say hyperbole and be laughed at by the whole class. So yeah, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Hi, my name's Gabs, and this is the Literary Device Lectures. We are looking at hyperboles today. This is lesson 6 out of 12 short tutorials. So remember to subscribe so that you get notified on the next upload. Now, what we're going to cover today is a definition of the hyperbole. We are going to look at some of my favourite examples, and then we're going to unpack a sentence that has a hyperbole in it. We'll analyse it exam style. Let's dive into the definition, shall we? So the baseline definition is when exaggeration is used intentionally. So it's commonly used to emphasise the importance of something. It's a great persuasive technique and great when making a satirical comment. And when we see a hyperbole used in the media, it's often outlandish and serves as clickbait, but it's still an extremely useful literary device. That's something I want to just stress. Just because it's used in the media as clickbait doesn't mean that it's not useful. It's extremely useful, and I would advocate that you play around with hyperboles, see what you can come up with. I've just included 3 examples because they're actually really hard to find, but the ones that stuck out for me are, number 1, tears shall drown the wind. This is in Macbeth by Shakespeare, and we'll unpack that exam style in a second. And then number 2, you'll be really familiar with this, I'm dead. That is a hyperbole, when you text your mate or they text you a funny gif and you just write back, I'm dead. That is a hyperbole. You're not literally dead, but you're laughing so much that you're not in control of your body. You feel like you're about to die. So yeah, that is a hyperbole, my friends. You were using something you didn't even know you were using. And number 3, my favourite, by an awesome poet, Hera Lindsay Bird. Anytime someone I'm dating mentions someone they used to love, I immediately want to drive my car headfirst into a swamp full of battery acid, ruining Christmas for everyone. I'm only going to show you the good stuff, guys. Let's unpack number 1, because if you're in GCSE level, it's very likely that you're going to be studying Macbeth, so this will be super helpful. Just to give you a bit of context, Macbeth speaks these lines when he's deciding whether to kill King Duncan. And he's supposed to be like a loyal soldier to his king, yet he's having these horrible thoughts and desires to kill the king so that he can replace his king. So this is my analysis. Tears shall drown the wind. Here, Macbeth decides whether to kill Duncan by considering the repercussions of his actions. He uses the hyperbole, tears shall drown the wind, to emphasise how much the kingdom will grieve. In Shakespeare's time, the natural elements, such as the wind, were considered powerful and controlled by God. The hyperbole implies the wailing cries of King Duncan's people will drown out the sound of the wind, controlled by an infuriated God. Now I'm going to analyse my analysis. So things I do well, I pinpoint who's saying it pretty much straight away and the context. Then I talk about the use of the literary device. I identify the literary device, so that's hyperbole. I identify the quote and link the quote and the literary device together. It's very specific. I only use, very economic about how much of the quote I use, because that is actually part of a longer quote. But I know where the hyperbole is and I focus in on that. And then I use descriptive words like grieve, powerful. And I even go further into context by referencing in Shakespeare's time, their beliefs about God, their beliefs in him controlling the weather. And the last line ties it all together in a nice, neat little bow. So, in basic terms, if Macbeth kills Duncan, the kingdom will be so upset their cries will drown out the sound of the wind. That's how powerful and emotional and upset they'd be. Well, upset is an understatement. They'd be distraught at the death of their king because he's such a revered great king. Some final thoughts. There are 12 literary device lectures. If you want to be one of the first to see the next upload, subscribe. Tell me what you learned in the comments below. If you want to get your hands on this if you want to get your hands on this deck, head to Patreon and come say hi on Instagram. I'll see you there. Thank you.